Hello everyone, this is Sakshi and I heartily welcome you all to Books with Sakshi. I hope you guys are doing great. If you're new to my channel, I upload bookish content regularly. If you're interested in books, reading, reviews, then make sure you subscribe to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to review and recommend you a poetry book. If you are a poetry lover, then make sure you watch this video until the very end. The book I'm recommending you today is Sound of Silence, which is written by author Ratna Kaul. It's an amazing poetry book that I came across recently. First of all, it was like a long time that I actually read a good poetry book, and then I came across this book and I really loved it for its mature writing style and all the themes that the author has beautifully covered. So in this video, we are going to look at few themes that actually caught my attention and that really impressed me. I'm only going to cover those themes and I'm going to talk about writing style and what I really liked about this book. So in total, there are 52 poems in this book and all of them are amazing. They are quite long poems, so they are not like 3 to 4 liners, but they are actually 1 or 2 pages long, and some of them are even 3 to 4 pages long. So they are written in the form of storytelling, and you will find yourself connecting with many of the poems like I did. Now, to tell you about the themes of this book and what kind of poems you can actually expect, most of the poems are very positive and very inspiring, and they won't make you sad. But then there are few poems that are related to funeral, death of your loved ones. So those poems were personally triggering for me, and they may be triggering for other people as well. So this is sort of a trigger warning. If you're someone who is not in a state to read such poems, then you can definitely avoid. But there are just 2 or 3 poems, and rest of the book you will find poems that are inspiring. So even you can skip those poems if that's what you want. Sound of Silence is a poetry book that explores the reality. So this is not something that we do not know of. It is like every day-to-day basis, whatever we experience, whatever we feel, our emotions are portrayed beautifully through these poems, but in a very mature and precise manner. Two poems that instantly come in my mind right now is one that talks about loving yourself before anything, and second poem that was about this pandemic, and that how there were so many corona fighters, there were so many healthcare workers, and there were so many people at service just doing their best whatever they can. And so first poem, if I talk about, which is about loving yourself, I guess this is a theme that almost every poetry book has covered. That you have to love yourself, self-love, self-care over everything, and so that's why I said that this is nothing out of the box or out of the world, but how the author has written about it really made me happy. About corona, that really made me feel so grateful because I was attending my online classes, so our teachers were teaching us, we were getting food at our place, we were getting all the necessary items, facilities at our place. We were at home, we were all trapped, and we weren't actually stepping out when the pandemic was at its peak. But there were people who were working outside, there were people who were putting their lives at stake, and they were doing all of that so that they can provide others. Obviously they had to provide their families as well, they had to care for them as well, but what they were doing at that time is they were fulfilling their duty. And so that makes me so grateful, first of all, that we have such people still in existence. Another two poems that caught my attention and I really loved reading them were one again that is related to this pandemic. One was about lockdown, another was about fear. And I see that both the poems are quite correlated because that was the time when people were actually following their passion, or not following, but finding their passion, finding things that they really loved or enjoyed. And they did a lot of things that, they didn't have time to do when everything was, moving normally. So this was both like a boon and a curse for people. It depends, how we saw it. Similarly, fear, which we definitely had even when we were in lockdown, we were following our passion, we were doing all of things that could cheer us in those terrible times, but also we had this constant fear that, what's next? Now, what's going to happen when all of this is going to get back to normal? And so I guess these two topics are correlated, but the author has definitely, described and wrote a poem according to her, which I definitely loved. So overall, I really enjoyed reading this book for its themes, for the beautiful and magnificent writing style. And there are only 52 poems, as I said, but some of the poems are quite long. And so this book is of 130 something pages, which is, I guess, a quite a short book. So you can even read it in one go or whatever way you prefer. You can just read it, but I would definitely recommend, if you like and love reading poetry books that are, written on different themes. This is not just based on one theme, but if I have to, categorize everything, into just one box and name this one box anything, then I would say all the poems are based on reality. Writing style of the poems, I guess, is easy in almost every poem. So even if you don't read a lot of poetry books or you haven't read any poetry book, still I feel you will be able to understand it if you pay attention to it. I won't say that it's all easy and you will be able to understand it very easily. You just need to pay a little attention if you are reading poetry books for the first time. Otherwise, it's like a very simple book that will make sense to you. The author has not used a lot of metaphors unnecessarily or high vocabulary unnecessarily, which I really, really appreciate, because I guess the whole essence somehow just, gets lost in metaphors and, using too many metaphors or using too much of vocabulary that is, beyond, normal man's understanding. What I really liked about this book is, uncut narration and the honesty with which the author has written all the poems. And also, as I said, there are a lot of poems that are very inspiring and motivating. And so there was some, some magic in the words that, the author writes. And just reading those words, you will instantly feel positive and motivated. So that was again something that I really liked. And in general, I loved this book because it was very uplifting, and it really uplifted my mood and made me so happy. So for that reason, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. If you would be interested, definitely go ahead and get this book for yourself. The book is available on Amazon in Kindle edition as well as paperback. I link it down in the description box so you can get it from there. And I really hope you read this book and enjoy it as much as I did. And I'll see you in the upcoming videos. Until next time, take care and keep reading.